Hello, hello. All right, guys, bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure I have started this all good to go. Bear with me 1 second while I. All right, it does look like that we are streaming well. Let me just make sure the link is all good. Okay, brilliant. I believe the connection is good to go. So we're still on our regular platform today. Hopefully, in the next coming days, we'll figure out how to stream on the main platform. But right now, we're going to be sticking with our regular platform. And I want to say welcome back to the live stream. If you guys haven't been here before, hi, my name is Amy and I do live streams with SuperX. And today we're going to be going over spot trading and futures. But as a little bit of an update on what is happening in cryptocurrency currently, let's see what's happened. So, Cointelegraph Daily Roundup tracks key developments across Bitcoin price action, blockchain protocols, DeFi shifts, Web3 progress, and global crypto regulation. US spot Bitcoin ETFs post a record of $6.4 billion net overflow over the last 30 days. It's the largest since their 2024 launch, as Bitcoin has fell 17% in the past month. That is a big drop. Also, we have notorious sandwich attack bot Jared from Subway.eth is exploited for $7.5 million after dominating 70% of Ethereum sandwich attacks from late 2024 to late 2025. Bitcoin dominance holds above key support as rotation into altcoins collapses, suggesting that BTC keeps absorbing capital and delays the broader alt season. OpenRouter launches Fusion and a compound model API stacking budget AI models that reportedly outperformed GPT 5.5 and Claude Opus 4.8 in benchmark tests. So that's the daily update for what is happening in crypto right now. So with Bitcoin having dropped 17%, hopefully by going over how to do spot trading and futures on SuperX, maybe you'll learn how to avoid the loss of some people might not have put their ducks in order and made sure that they were safely in place, that they had an exit plan. So hopefully today if you don't already know, you'll have an exit plan ready if this were to happen again in the future. So if you guys don't already have a SuperX account, let me just share the link here. I'll share it in the chat for you guys. And remember, I totally understand. We don't have the biggest flow of people coming into the live stream, and I totally get that. So a lot of people do watch the pre-recorded videos instead. But yeah, I hope you guys can still input any questions that you have or any comments or anything you'd like to see in the comments down below, because I do always go through everything and make sure that you guys are heard as much as possible. But yeah, I would love if you guys were able to pop in during the live stream. It would give a lot more interaction, but I totally get it. Quick little update on my life is that me and my partner have started fostering 2 fur babies. Yeah, we've got 2 adult cats at home. They are 7 and 8 years old, and they're absolutely adorable. I adore them so much. And it's been less than 24 hours since I've had them, and they're so sweet. Maybe at one point during the live stream, they might walk over the keyboard and end the live stream early just because that's what they want to do. But they are so sweet and needy, and they want cuddles, and that's exactly what I need. But that's a little bit of update on my life. But yeah, so if you guys haven't already set up your account, it's super straightforward. I've sent the link through in the chat. Just open it up. You can register with your email address, your phone number. It'll make you get a confirmation code. Make sure you set up the 2-step authentication, and don't share your password with anyone, guys. Remember, with cryptocurrency, it may not feel like you're dealing with actual funds sometimes because it's all digital, but this is your hard-earned money that you're putting into it. So let's just make sure we're keeping things safe and secure, and you're not giving your password out to random people who could mess up your trade. I just watched a video yesterday. It was a movie. I watched a clip. Wasn't able to finish it because my heart was a little bit anxious yesterday, where a guy had made a trade, and I think it was actually more like sports betting, and he thought he was doing horribly. He had lost so much money, and then this one time, him and his sister are out. No, it was him and his partner, and he went to go put a bet for this one match of a football match, and to avoid his losses, she cancelled it without his knowledge, and then he thought he won all his money, but he hadn't. So, like, yes, the message is definitely be careful with what you guys are doing, but make sure you have an exit plan so you don't lose too much, and just don't share your details with anyone else. I think that is what I'm trying to get at, even though in his situation it worked out for the best because then he didn't lose everything, but still. Okay, so I think we're going to start off today with let's go on to spot trading. It's been a while since I've done it, so I thought it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, if you guys aren't already on SuperX, if you follow SuperX social media, you might be able to share 200 USDT. So that's pretty good. I'm going to exit out of that for the time being. But yeah, so I just want to explain a little bit about what spot trading is. So for spots, we're trading leverage futures on SuperX. Okay, so hopefully, I think spot trading will probably take us like 5 to 10 minutes to go over. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll kind of know how to open a 30 times BTC long, set a take profit and stop loss, so you guys don't have any issues when you're sleepy at night, stressing over what choices you've made. You can choose between cross and isolated margin like a pro. Quick disclaimer up front, futures are high risk and you can lose your whole margin in minutes. So I want you guys to make sure you watch this really carefully and pay attention. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is the perpetual futures. Oh, bear with me one second, guys. I just started chatting about our the wrong one. Bear with me one second. I wanted us to do spot trading today. But yeah, futures is the one that is a lot more stressful. Spot trading is a lot easier to play with as a beginner myself. So that's the one we're going to go into, okay? So this is the SuperX trading screen. Oh, we have a little companion who wants to say hi. I don't know if she's going to stay for long, but this is my little Coco, and I'm going to smother her so she doesn't want to come back. Oh no, she's so cute. But we can't have... I know you want to be on the table, but I can't have you doing it when I do a live stream, because then you might end my live stream too soon. Okay. We must come off. There we go. All right. She's a smart baby and knew when to leave. For now. She might come back, but who knows? All right. But yeah, this is our spot trading for SuperX. I know it can look a little bit busy at first, but it's actually super simple. There are only 4 areas that we really need to know. This top area is our pair sector. So right now we have Bitcoin and USDT, but in a second I'll show you guys how you can change that to anything. Area 2 is our big chart in the middle. This is our trading view and price chart. It currently shows you the Bitcoin price action live, and you can switch between 1 minute, 15 minutes, hourly, daily, whatever fits your styles. It depends on how you want to view things. And then on the right side here, we have our order book. It shows you every buy order in green and sell order in red in real time. Don't worry about that too much for now. I don't pay attention to it too much, and because I'm still more on a beginner scale of everything. But for future stuff, you can go analyze that and help your decision of what you guys want to put through. And then what we're going to be paying more attention to today is this area here. This is where our magic happens. This is the trading panel. This is the only place that we're really going to interact with today, because I might interact a little bit elsewhere, but that's my main thing, okay? So with our trading panel at the top here, we do have in green, we've got buy in green, and then if I click on you, sell in red. We're buying Bitcoin today, so I'm going to keep it on buy. Right under it, you'll see 3 different order types. We've got limit, market, and stop market. I want you to use limit. Why is that? I'll give you an example. So a market order buys at whatever price the market is right now. So you have like no control. A limit order lets you say, I'll only buy Bitcoin if it drops to this price. So pretty much people, like I was just saying earlier, Bitcoin dropped 17%. People who put in a limit order would be very, very happy because it dropped to a certain price and they were able to buy it at a cheaper price. Hopefully it doesn't keep going down, but you never really know. If you're paying attention to the market, you might be able to have some predictions. I myself don't like to make too many predictions because it will take over my life. I like to use SuperX as something I do in my downtime. I want to put my order in and not think about it again. And that's why I do limit, is because then I can set my parameters of what makes me feel safer. But yeah, so we're going to make sure we stay on limit today, okay? All right. Now I'll show you guys a little bit more about the other side. So if you want to trade something other than Bitcoin, this is how you kind of switch pairs. So just click on Bitcoin USDT up here, and then this drop down appears. You can see you have all these different options. You can type in any token you want, be it ET, be it ETH, SOL, BNB, anything. Like SuperX has thousands of pairs you can choose from. So these tabs up here are going to let you filter by category. So we've got spot, we've got for crypto, we've got stock for US stock market. Yes, that is right. You can trade, you can even trade Apple and Tesla on SuperX. So that's really cool. And then we've got free market here for community listed tokens and so on. All right. And then just by clicking any of the popular ones that come up here, I'm going to stick with Bitcoin and USDT because that's just what we're going to be on today. Okay. Alrighty, let's move back over to our trading panel. We're going to set our buy price. Okay, dokie. All right, so Bitcoin has dropped a little bit, but for the time being, I'm going to drop it as well. So the last time I checked, remember it went down 17%. The last time I checked to see what it was at, I think it was around 78,200, and that's a big drop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offer it at, so the price that I'm willing to buy it at. So right now it's at 64,242. I'm gonna drop it to 64,000 solid, as that's the price that I want it to look at. Okay. So that's the price that I'm willing to, there we go, that's my USDT. Okay dokie. All right, and what this means is the moment that Bitcoin hits that price, my 64,000 USDT, it will buy my fill automatically. Until then, nothing happens. It's pretty much, I'm in control. I'm not chasing the market. I'm kind of letting it come to me with the price that I'm happy with, okay? Okay. All right, next, how much money do we want to commit? So over here, I can see the total field at the bottom here. That's how much USDT I want to spend, okay? So for this demo, maybe I'll just like pop 50 USDT just to have an example right there. I've typed in 50 and you see what happens there. Automatically, this is one of the things that I love about SuperX, is that I don't have to think too much and it does all the maths for me. The price has already inputted here. So for this case, it will be around 0.0078 Bitcoin. So I don't have to do any math at all. That's how much that I would be getting. Also, quick tip here, like I currently only have 15 USDT in my available balance, but you do see your available balance down here. So you can see that I wouldn't actually be able to follow through with this transaction because I don't have enough USDT, but it's just good to know that's how much it would be. All right, this is going to be the most important part for spot trading, and even for futures. We do the exact same thing for futures as well, because I think it is very important to make sure that I click take profit and stop loss, okay? So this is just gonna make sure that I am gonna be happy either way, that I'm gonna get the price that I want to, and I'm not gonna lose too much, okay? All right, so the first one that's gonna show up here is a TP trigger. That's your take profit. So I'm gonna set this one up. Let me have a look. So 64,000. Let's put you at, let's just say 70,000. I'm gonna put that one at 70,000, okay? So pretty much that means, and what I really like, SuperX tells me, when the price reaches 70,000 USDT, it will trigger a market order and your estimated P&L will be 4.68 USDT, okay? I love that. It tells me everything that I need to know. That pretty much means if Bitcoin moves from 64,000 to 70,000, the platform will sell my Bitcoin automatically. I lock in my profit when I'm asleep, when I'm at work, anywhere, okay? Super important that we do this. And then our SL trigger, okay? That's our stop loss. So I'm going to set this one at, let's say, 60,000. Alrighty. And pretty much it's the same logic, but the opposite direction. So if Bitcoin crashes, like it did recently, from 64,000 to 60,000, the platform will automatically sell it. So I would then lose, let's have a look. I would lose 3.12 USDT, okay? And that's what SuperX is telling me. It's giving me all the details there. So pretty much I'm capsizing the loss that I would have. I just don't want to make sure, because if it's already dropped 17% recently, who knows? Is it going to continue to drop or is it going to go back up? That's what a lot of people are trying to figure out right now, is if it's a good time to buy. I reckon it's a good time to buy. Even if it goes back down, you know it's going to go back up, right? What goes down must come back up. That's my logic, at least. Maybe don't take, I'm not the best advice when it comes to exact numbers of it all, but that's just kind of how my brain works, okay? And just a bit of a nitbit tip is that the pros, even though if you think, oh, I don't need to do this, I can keep watching it. No, even the pros use this. This makes sure that they are never stressing when they go to sleep, okay? And just like that, that took us maybe around, let me have a look. How long did that actually take us? It took us around 10 minutes. But that's because I was chatting your ear off the whole time. This pretty much just makes sure that we are safer and I don't have to stress about anything. But yeah, always make sure that you put your take profit and stop loss. It will make you feel a lot more comfortable. Okay, and then for the final step before you pop that all through, always check this, make sure you have enough available funds. Remember, I don't have the available funds for a 50 USDT. If I change that to 15, let me quickly pop that in. Here, I would actually have enough funds to do that because I have available funds of 15 USDT. But yeah, just always make sure you have the correct available funds. And once you are ready to go, sorry, I'm just watching my cats on the side of my eye, seeing what they're doing. You would then be able to click buy BTC. It's as easy as that, okay, guys? And I always just want to say, there's no shame in doing a take profit or stop loss. It doesn't mean that you're a beginner or anything. It just means that you're being safe. You don't want to be stressing about these things too much, okay? So always do that take profit and stop loss. That is my best friend in doing any of these things. I always need to do that. But yeah, so once that is then lodged, you can then have a look at your orders. They would all go here, your live orders. And remember, it will only go into play once it reaches your numbers that you have put in the system, okay? All right, let's quickly jump over to our futures. Remember how I was saying how this one is futures is a high risk? This is the one that I was talking about. I was on the wrong page, but this is the one where you could lose your whole margin in minutes. So this is the one that if you're a beginner, I probably would tread much more carefully than if I was doing spot trading. Spot trading, I feel a lot more safe and secure doing it. But yeah, we're gonna play with futures today just to have a rough idea of how to play for you guys, okay? So the page is going to be quite similar to what we're doing on spot trading. This is the perpetual futures screen. I know it looks quite similar to spot trading, but there are a few new pieces. There are 4 areas that you kind of need to scan, okay? Top left is the pair sector, similar to what we were just doing before. We're currently doing Bitcoin USDT perpetual. All right, you can switch to ETH, SOL, anything by clicking there. All right. Next, we have this row is our our future specific data, the mark price, and whatever is currently going. That's where you're going to have any information that you want to use to calculate your future prices. So like you can use this to calculate your unrealized P&L, your liquidation. Price index is the multi-exchange weighted spot price. Okay, so we've got a lot of information here. We've got funding countdown, so every 8 hours, longs pay shorts or vice versa, depending on the funding rate. You'll also see the timer at the top here. And you can go from 24-hour change, high, low, turnover, standard, okay? You got all your good information up here. And then on the far right, we've got our trading panel similar to spots. That is where we're going to be opening and closing positions today. We'll spend most of our time there. And then in the far right, we've got our order book right here. Not far right, just in the middle right here. This is where live buy and sell orders. Remember, for futures, this also matters for funding a rate skew. So for beginners, just glance and ignore it. That's what I pretty much said for spot trading as well, because we don't need to pay too much attention into that right now. Alrighty. Let's get to the good stuff. All right, before we open anything, I want you guys to pick your margin mode. So in the trading panel, click the button that says, mine currently says isolated, but you can, I think to begin with, for the first time ever, it'll say cross. And then this pop-up is going to appear. We got 3 different choices here. Listen carefully because this kind of decides what's happening when things go wrong. So for cross margin, every position you have under this asset shares one single margin balance. So if one trade tanks, the system will pull you from your other position's margin to prevent liquidation. I know it sounds nice, but if everything crashes at once, you can lose your entire futures wallet, not just one position. So I don't like this one too much. Whereas isolated margin mode, you can assign a fixed amount of margin to each position. So if the trade goes against you, you only lose your isolated margin, okay? And the rest of your wallet is safe. I really recommend this for beginners and everyone. At least that's how I would do it. I'm not at a stage where I go outside of this just yet. And then we have split. That's split margin mode. It's kind of similar to isolated, but you transfer a specific amount up front. So if the margin drops to 100% or below, you get liquidated and the trader can lose all the margin in that sub account. So it is better than cross, but still not my favorite. Once you decide which one, you just click confirm. As I was saying before, my honest recommendation for your first month or first few months until you feel comfortable is always going to be isolated. Don't let one bad trade kind of wipe out everything that you've earned, and then you're going to feel discouraged. All right, we're going to go with isolated. Okay, next we're going to have a look at our leverage. So click the button next to, right now we've clicked isolated, so this is our margin mode. So we're going to click that. Currently mine says 30 times. This pop-up kind of opens. The big counter at the top, you get to use the plus and the minus to fine-tune everything, or you can drag the slider. So SuperX lets you go all the way from 1 times all the way up to 150 times. I just want you guys to read the warnings carefully. So remember, have a look here. Selecting a high leverage will increase the risk of forced liquidation. So at 150 times at 0.66%, move against you wipes you out. At 10 times, it takes about a 9% move, and then at 3 times you can survive a 30% crash. So the higher the leverage isn't bigger profits, it's smaller margin for the same position size, which means tighter liquidation distance, okay? So I'm going to, I think I want to keep mine on to 30 times. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep mine at 30 times just to have a bit of an example of what we're going to do today. I will say my recommendation for beginners, we maybe start at anywhere between 3 to 5 times. You kind of want to learn the platform and understand what's happening, and then you can kind of increase it later. But today I'm going to stick to 30. All right, we're going to do our price amount and not really the maths, but we'll have a look. Okay, so now let's set up our actual order. So we're going to use limit. Remember, you can change to market, stop market. I'm going to use limit order mode. It's the same as my spot tutorial. It kind of lets you pick your exact buy price instead of taking the market price into account, okay? So for the price field, Remember, Bitcoin is now at 64,266.5 USDT, which is essentially US dollars price, which is 17% dip than normal. I am going to put it at, similar to what we're doing for spot, I'm going to put it at 64. So if it dips a little bit more, I'm going to put it at 64,000, okay? So remember, that means if it dips down to 64,000, which is just like a bit of a small dip from what it is currently, my order fills. If it doesn't, nothing's going to happen. I can cancel at any time. So I'm assuming that it's going to go down a little bit more, okay? Okay, this little bit of information here is quite important. So we've got cont versus USDT, okay? So cont means how many contracts, like between SuperX and, all right, so each Bitcoin contract on SuperX equals a specific Bitcoin quality, okay? So USDT means how much USDT you want to commit. Beginners should always pick USDT. It's the dollar amount you understand, right? So for me, that just makes it a lot clearer. I know exactly what I am trading. So I'm going to keep it on USDT instead of cont because it confuses me still to this day. All right, the amount that I'm going to play with, once again, I don't only have 15 USDT in my account, but I'm going to play with 50 just for keeping our numbers a bit more even right now. That's how much capital that I'm willing to commit for this demo trade. Remember, I only have 15 USDT, so that's all that I would actually be able to if I was really doing it. All right, and then let's go down to the margin. Margin says 1.66 USDT. So that's only $3 and change locked up as collateral because at 30 times leverage, 50 USDT of exposure only requires 50 divided by 30, which is, maths thanks to SuperX, is 1.66 USDT dollar of margin. That's the leverage magic. Small margin, big position, big risk too, okay? So just remember that. That's why I'm on 30 times right now, is because that's my margin amount that I was willing to risk, okay? All right, now, most important part, similar to our spot trading, we're gonna make sure we click our TP and SL. Remember, if there's one thing you can take away from today's video is to always remember to set this because it's super important. All right, guys. I want you to remember this because I want you to never enter a future trade without these two numbers set. Okay, with our TP and SL checks, we have clicked that. I want us to fill in these fields. Okay, so for my TP trigger, I'm going to put you at 70,000. And my SL trigger, I'm going to put you at, just for the sake of today, is at 60,000, okay? So similar to spot trading, it pretty much just means that I'm saying that if I buy it, so remember, I'm trying to buy at 64,000 USDT, but if Bitcoin jumps up to 70,000, remember it just dropped a big drop, so you just never know what's going to happen. If it jumps up to 70,000, it sells automatically and locks in my gains, okay? Means I don't need to stare at the chart the whole time. It's making sure I am secure in my gain. And then stop loss is similar. So if it drops down to 60,000 USDT, which is the opposite direction, if it continues to crash like it's been crashing the last few days, it makes sure that my loss is capped, okay? This is the line between losing some margin and getting completely liquidated. I want to make sure that I can continue to trade and enjoy my experience. If I get completely liquidated, I'd be so gutted and I don't know if I'd want to continue. So I'm just making sure that I am safe in whichever price I'm setting, okay? Only after both are set do you then click the open long buy button. That's the big green button there, okay? Open long means you're betting that Bitcoin goes up. Open short means that you bet it's going down. So this one's actually quite important for what's happening right now because we have had a big drop in Bitcoin. So yeah, if you think it's going to continue to drop, open short. If you think it's going to go back up, open long. So right now, it's a really kind of fun time to be doing a trade with Bitcoin because a lot of things are happening. And then pretty much once you guys have clicked that, You guys will be able to see your positions here. Everything is straightforward on there. If for some reason you start to stress that something might happen, you can cancel it anytime, okay? Once you have popped it in there, and if the price has not jumped to any of your parameters that you put in, you are safe to go. Okay, so yeah, today was a bit of a quick overview of what happens with spot trading and futures. I think, like I was saying before, it is a really exciting time because Bitcoin did drop 17%. I've said this many times, but yeah, it's the biggest drop it's had since it first opened. So I think now is the time to start playing and make some guesses, some educated guesses of what's going to happen. So yeah, that's what I'm probably going to play with later on today. Thank you so much for tuning into my live stream, guys. I will have another live stream coming up on the weekend. I am going to be doing a Saturday, Sunday live stream. Still not 100% sure on content, but I hope you guys are able to enjoy it. Ooh, I just pressed a button down below. All right, take care so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to my live stream today. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Kit and Coco, my two fur babies, say goodbye as well. Take care, and